slumping imports in China, currency market swings, and falling commodities prices. They've led the World Trade Organization to cut its global trade forecast for this year by 0.5%.
The WTO projects global trade will rise by 2.8%, down from a previous forecast of 3.3%. The Geneva-based trade body adds that volatile financial markets and U.S. monetary policy have clouded the outlook. Should the projections hold up, it would mark the fourth consecutive year that world trade grew by less than 3%.
Correspondent Jeremy House. Amtrak is boarding a baggage fee bandwagon. It's generated billions in revenue for the airlines. Passenger train operator says it will start charging $20 to passengers who exceed restrictions for carry-on and personal items. U.S. Airlines started introducing bag fees in 2008. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Mark your calendar for October 22nd through 24th as Saints Constantine and Helen Greek Orthodox Church in Newport News presents the Newport News Greek Festival Fall Edition, an indoor event inside the Hellenic Center. Enjoy Greek food, desserts, beverages, arts and crafts, and much more. Located at 60 Traverse Road off exit 258B on Route 17 in Newport News. For more, log on to newportnewsgreekfestival.org. See you at the Newport News Greek Festival Fall Edition, October 22nd through 24th. Opa!
When it comes to automobile service in Hampton Roads, Fink's Car Care is the destination locals have counted on for decades. Family owned and operated, they specialize in transmission service, oil changes, state inspection, radiator service, tires alignments, and showcase Win automotive products. Fink's does it all. Military and senior discounts are available. Find them on Facebook and visit them on South Military Highway in Chesapeake and Victory Boulevard in Portsmouth, Monday through Saturday. For more, log on to finkscarcare.com and call 545-3573 today. Chesapeake, Virginia, 1650 AM WHKT presents Sports Scene. Sports Scene features local, regional, and nationally acclaimed guests and excellent interviews. Follow Sports Scene on Twitter at Greg Bick and at GJBTV.com. Now here is Greg Bicouvaris.
And Kenny, what a great opening that is. That really is truly one of the best openings around for any radio or TV show.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with Hans Zimmer.
Exactly. All right.
Announcer guy, not so much, but the music, good stuff.
It's good stuff. All right, this is Sports Scene every Wednesday from noon to 1 right here on News Talk 1650. Also, tunein.com, type in WHKT to listen on your phone or your computer. Presented by GJBTV.com right here on this last day of September. Your home for talk radio. Tell your friends about 1650 WHKT on Facebook and Twitter as well. Ken, the story now is the weather. What's going to go on this weekend?
Well, they've been kind of watching the system off the coast, and they officially this morning named it a hurricane. So it achieved hurricane force winds. That's Hurricane Joaquin, no less. And the projected track right now, the business models, the forecast models, are pretty much all agreeing that it's going to head up along the coast. It's not expected to make impact. Those are the unlikely models. It's still possible, but it's unlikely. So sometime Friday through Saturday and Sunday, it'll be passing along the North Carolina, Virginia coastline. By Sunday night, it should be up off the coastline, up around the northern part of New Jersey, places like that. In the meantime, we don't really know what's going to happen. It's going to be windy. We know it's going to be a lot of rain, but aside from that, the actual amount of rain and how much the winds will be and how much effect will have will remain to be seen. We'll just have to wait until I think it's a little closer and the forecast projections get a little more solid.
Sure. Of course, drive carefully. Twitter, at Greg Bick, at Sports Highlight, at GJBTV, HR1LineMall.com. Thank you to our military guest lineup. Feature guest today, Bruce Rader from WAVY-TV 10, Fox 43, coming up. Don't miss it. Sponsors on GJBTV.com. Marketplace sponsors in the homepage. Guest lineup presented by Fink's Car Care. Phone line presented by Hampton Roads, OnlineMall.com. Browse, shop, visit over 80 businesses. Hampton Roads, OnlineMall.com. A must website for people in Hampton Roads and tourists. Thank you to Mihogar, Newport News Greek Festival, Spaghetti Eddies, and Fink's. Of course, the Redskins right now struggling 1-2. They've got the Eagles this weekend, 1 o'clock on Fox. Ravens are even worse. They're 0-3. They take on the Steelers tomorrow night. UVA and Virginia Tech, to me, they're just pathetic. Old Dominion played the worst football game, Ken. I'm sorry. The worst football game I've seen in a long time. They look like a first-year program playing in their first game, looking pathetic at home.
Worse than the Redskins against the Patriots in that first season game in '85.
That was
pretty bad.
Yeah, well, Old Dominion, no excuse. Major League Baseball postseason, Orioles, Nationals. Guess what? It's always best for next year. High school football playoff, Warwick versus Woodside, 7:00 tonight on Cox Cable 47 517 and Newport News and nnpstv.com. Also, our good friends at Downtown Grill, brand new restaurant in Virginia Beach, 5720 Northampton Boulevard. Open 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. 7 days a week. Home cooking, great burgers, and of course pasta, seafood, really good salmon, appetizers. They got the fried pickles right there. So many great restaurants. Downtown Grill. Come by and see them every day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, late night too. 5720 Northampton Boulevard. Very convenient. Northampton Boulevard is really a unique street too. It's so accessible to so many different areas too, whether it's 13, whether it's to Norfolk or Virginia Beach, and even going to Chesapeake.
Anybody that has to head to or from the Eastern Shore is certainly happy to have Northampton Boulevard with all the restaurants and the places to stop and relax and take a chill for a while. My old alma mater, my first place I had a full-time working paycheck was the Aberdeen Barn right there in Northampton Boulevard.
Perfect restaurant.
Still there.
Yes, one of the best restaurants around. I frequent that place all the time. Again, Downtown Grill, 5720 Northampton Boulevard. Give them a call at 233-6920. Go by and see them. Family-owned and operated. Good breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Stay tuned. Sports Scene will continue after these messages.
Nor'easter season is here, so don't get all wet. Protect your house. Call Crawl Space Door Systems at 363-0005. Reduce your flood insurance, reduce the threat of mold and insects, and save energy. Crawl Space Doors, air vents, flood vents, vent covers, and fans can help you stay dry or get you dry quickly. Contact Crawl Space Doors for more information at 363-0005 or online at crawlspacedoors.com. Stay dry, my friends.
Good Italian food, daily specials, and a place people enjoy is Spaghetti Eddie's. Indulge in your mouth-watering pizza, pasta, subs, salads, appetizers, and desserts. Open 7 days a week. Log on to SpaghettiEddiesPizzaCafe.com and visit them at Taylor Road and on Eden Way North in Chesapeake for lunch and dinner. Like them on Facebook. Italian food you can count on is at Spaghetti Eddie's. Now back to Greg Bicouvaris and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio.
Turn down for what? Turn down for what? Turn down for what?
All right, back live right here on News Talk 1650, your 10,000-watt powerhouse of Hampton Roads, your home for the Baltimore Ravens, of course, right here, Sports Scene every Wednesday from 12 to 1, at Greg Bick on Twitter with Ken Johnson up until 1 o'clock, and we always get great guests. Had him on when I was at the game. I've known him since I've been a kid, and pretty much everybody knows who Bruce Rader is. He's been a landmark in sports in Hampton Roads since the mid-1970s for WAVY-TV 10 and now Fox 43 as well as both. Bruce, always a pleasure. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, Greg. Thanks a lot. Thanks for making me feel old.
Oh, you're still young. You're still young. Bruce is still young. Hey, Bruce, I got to tell you before we start, Ken was talking about caffeine. Of course, thank God we do a lot of stuff in the afternoon and the evening, but your brother works at one of the better restaurants in Hampton Roads, or did in the past, the Egg Bistro, and of course, that is a wonderful restaurant.
Oh, it is. It is. It's a great place out there in Chesapeake. I've been there. My brother moved on to another phase in the restaurant business where he's inspecting restaurants now instead of working in them.
Sure.
I guess he's got the experience for that. But, I was thinking about being old, but then again, Ken's there in the studio with you, so I don't feel too bad.
Right.
Dude, I'm right there with you. I was one of the people accidentally leaving Coke cans on the news desk, and we were shooting Mad Blood. So, we go back a little ways.
Yeah, you guys are.
We do.
You guys aren't old enough to be my father, but you're getting close. But anyway, it's all good.
Very little.
Bruce, let's talk about your career. I guess the biggest thing, too, when you first got here in the mid-'70s is technology, how much it's changed when you first got here in the mid-'70s.
Yeah, well, what's internet?
Yeah.
You know, I did that. Wasn't even close to being a dream back then. We didn't have cell phones back then, and the big thing, we didn't have videotape.
Yeah.
Everything we shot was shot on film, so you had to. I remember shooting high school football on Friday nights and then getting in the car and driving, say, to Chapel Hill or Charlottesville to shoot an ACC football game, and then at halftime having to go into the trunk of my car and put the film canister in a black bag so that you could switch the film canisters. Then you had to drive to an airport, after the game, put the film on an airplane, fly it back to Norfolk, have someone pick it up at the airport, take it to the TV station, develop the film, edit it, and get it on the news.
Unbelievable. And of course, you talk about that technology as well. There really was no ESPN in the mid-70s. It was primarily radio, TV, newspaper, and magazines. And primarily now, Bruce, you look at it, newspapers, you don't see people reading them, especially kids, college kids. Everything is on their phone and their computer. But sometimes we lose interaction with that face-to-face that you've always done so well with.
Well, that's true. You know, everybody is getting their media in many different ways, on their phone, on their computers, on their tablets. We've done a very good job in our company adopting to that. Actually, we probably have the premier media company in the nation right now, where we interact local television with web pages, WAVY.com. It's just amazing. You know, tens of thousands of people go to WAVY.com every single day, and thousands more go to the WAVY Facebook page, where they're able to click, just make a click and actually see stories that we may have had on the 6 o'clock or the 11 o'clock news, or even stories that have just broken. It gives people a sense of immediacy, and we do a great job doing that. And to tell you the truth, a lot of people say, well, don't you feel threatened by that? And not at all, because Brian Parsons and Nathan Epstein and I, you know, are the ones that are actually putting the content on the web. And the thing is, if you don't stay up until 10:45 at night and watch our sports wrap on Fox 43, or if you don't stay up until almost 11:30 to watch the sports on Wavy News 10 at 11, you can wake up in the morning, you can go to the webpage, and you can watch those stories. So actually, it gives us even more exposure and a better opportunity to get the word out about local sports teams and individuals.
Right, talking to Bruce Rader right here on News Talk 1650 at 1216. Also, tunein.com, type in WHKT. And that's a great point, too, Bruce, because it's back in the day, it was CNN back in the early 80s, 24-hour TV. Now, with the internet, everybody's got access 24/7. Even this radio program, anybody can hear worldwide on the TuneIn app on the phone or the computer. So, like you said, content is everywhere.
Content is everything, and content is what drives media. And you have to think ahead, and you have to get all of that content out there so that the people can see it. And again, you know, the thing that I have embraced for, well, this will be my 39th year in December, but what I have embraced is the local sports coverage. You get from us what you don't get on ESPN and NBC Sportsnet and all of these other Comcast Sports. You know, we give you content about what's happening in Hampton Roads. We give you Friday night flights. We give you high school football coverage. We give you those stories about the individuals. The girl at Wilson High School that became the first girl in Virginia State high school history to throw a touchdown pass, and then she came back the next week and kicked 3 field goals. One of them was the game-winning field goal. I got up the next morning, went to the Redskins game, and someone at the Redskins game said, hey, I was watching on the NFL Network today, and they showed video that you all shot Friday night about the girl from Wilson High School. So, you know, you're going to get the local sports from us, and then when it's a big event, then the big networks, as they always have for decades, will grab those stories from us and share it with the rest of the country.
Great point. Talking to Bruce Rader, Greg Bicouvaris, glad you're with us up until 1 o'clock for Sports Scene. And you talk about that too, Bruce, and it's really all about the people. You covered so many different people. I remember you and I both were at Stan Garfin's retirement party a few years ago at the Aberdeen Barn, and you sustained, you and Slater at WAVY, and you still see some of the people like, your old colleague Barbara Sierra and Les Smith, but you've sustained since the 70s. While some have moved on to cable, some have gone into other businesses like Brad Face has or other people, but you've sustained. That's really a credit to yourself.
Well, thanks a lot. You have to adapt and you have to grow. And you can't fight technology, and you can't fight the vision that your company has. You have to be smart enough to embrace it, just like coaches do that have been in the business for a long time. I remember talking with Bobby Wilder just recently within the last couple of years, and Bobby, who's a young man, who's a young coach, but just never really got into the social aspect of the media, the Twitter and the Facebook and the things like that. And his younger assistant coaches said, Coach, we're telling you, you got to adapt, or you're going to lose out on some of these recruits, because, we're talking to 16, 17, and 18-year-old kids, and sometimes even 15-year-old kids. And so, now Coach Wilder has an Instagram account. I'm not sure about the Twitter account. I know that my 10-year-old boys send him pictures on Instagram that he replies to, but you just have to be able, as you get older, you have to adapt, you have to grow, you have to listen to the smart people, even if they're a lot younger than you are, and that's what keeps you going and continues the success. And plus, it keeps me invigorated, right? Because it's not just the same old thing day after day, year after year, decade after decade.
You're exactly right. Talking to Bruce Rader, I think the one advantage you have in Hampton Roads, your stations do, is that you have the Fox 43 and WAVY combo. You have a Fox affiliate and an NBC affiliate, and you're able to deliver the news, for an hour in the evening. It's a great cross promotion on all platforms.
Well, that's true, and it also gives us the opportunity on Fox 43 at 10:45 every night to have the only 15-minute local sports show, probably on the East Coast, if you put them along with local over-the-air television stations. Now, Comcast Sportsnet, in various markets in Philadelphia and Washington and Baltimore, they will do a 15 to 30-minute local sportscast in those markets, but those are cable stations. We're probably one of the few all over-the-air television stations in America that do a 15-minute local sports show every night, 365 days a year on our Fox 43 Sports Wrap on Fox at 10:45, Monday through Friday, and on the weekends. And it gives us a great platform to cover local sports like no other television station can do. I have a lot of people that say to me, we go to bed early, we watch the 10 o'clock news, and then we settle in and watch 15 minutes of local sports, and, we get everything in there. And, and my feeling has always been over the last almost 40 years that we have our local sports, but then there are other sports that really are of interest to the viewers here in Hampton Roads. And, that's the Redskins, and that's NASCAR, and that's ACC football and ACC basketball, and then, of course, you throw in Old Dominion, William & Mary, Norfolk State, Hampton University, Christopher Newport, Virginia Wesleyan, of course, all the high schools, and then, the various feature stories that you have. And then, like, for example, last night, live at 6 o'clock, I was with Mark Leishman, who finished second in the British Open. Mark's from Australia, but he lives in Virginia Beach now with his wife, Audrey, and their 2 kids. And Mark hosted a charity golf tournament yesterday, and he and I did a 6 o'clock news live, and then we were able to pretty much run almost that entire interview on our Fox 43 Sports Wrap at 10:45, which gave us yet another platform. Then we ran a little bit of it at 11 o'clock on WAVY. Then you can go to WAVY.com, click on sports, and you can see that interview on our webpage, and it's probably on the WAVY Facebook page this morning, too. So, it's just amazing all the different platforms platforms that we have at our disposal.
Right, talking to Bruce Rader, Greg Bicouvaris, glad you're with us at 12:23. This is Sports Scene Live right here. And, of course, Bruce, you mentioned about the 15-minute sportscast in the evening, but to your advantage, Comcast, Sportsnet, and all of them, they're 24-hour, 7 days a week sports networks, except sometimes in the morning they do those infomercials, which to me are hard to watch. But anyway, and that's a credit to your station, to you and Brian, to pull that off every night. You know, I do a lot of work for Fox, you know, at Redskins and Ravens games, and you guys have just some of the best operations anywhere in the country.
Well, again, we've got a lot of experience. You know, this will be my 39th year. I don't even know how long Brian Parsons has been with us. I'm sure over 20 now. We've got Nathan Epstein, who's anchoring our weekends and, you know, doing stories during the week. And Nathan's family is from Norfolk, and he grew up in Richmond. And he actually worked for us while he was in college, and then went away and worked down in Mississippi and came back. So, you know, having three people that know the market, and especially with the, you know, if you add up Brian and I together, we've got well over a half a century worth of local sports coverage in this market. So we are pretty well connected.
And that's a good point,
as you, Greg.
Yeah, thank you, Bruce. And that's a great point too, because, you know, I work with Brian's brother Tim, and the one thing I admire about you that you've never gotten the credit for is your great attitude and your upbeat personality. You're always full of energy, whether there's critics out there, whether you're right or wrong, you keep rolling on, because this is a negative world we live in, especially now with social media, or fans always want to criticize, but it's not easy to be on the air for 39 years like you have been, to stay as fresh as you have been, where a lot of people just lose interest and so forth. And to your credit, you've got a family and you diversify. Sports is not all your life anymore.
Well, it is a little different, though, I think, in my situation, because in our business, people move around a lot to different cities. You know, when I started on television here, I was, 23 years old, and now I'm 61 years old. And if you think, I always sort of identify it as if I said I'm kind of like Opie on the Andy Griffith Show. Ronnie Howard, who started working on the Andy Griffith Show when he was in elementary school, and then went on to be Richie on Happy Days, and then went on to be in movies, and he's now, you know, one of the great directors in the world. And I said I kind of feel like Opie sometimes, that, you know, people will come up to me and say, you know, geez, I've been watching you my entire life, and then there'll be an older fellow there and go, yeah, and I'm his father, and I've been watching you my entire life.
Right.
And so, you know, there's a lot of advantages to that, but, you know, I would say the vast majority of people that watch us, people in Hampton Roads, they have been very, very nice to me. I've had an opportunity to help raise millions and millions of dollars for local charities, and to me that is as important as any story I've ever covered, any Super Bowl I've ever gone to, any Olympics that I've ever covered. You know, that's the great thing I feel about, you know, my tenure of being on television in Hampton Roads, is being able to give back to the community. And you really can't do that as much when you're moving around, but I feel blessed that I've had that opportunity, and truly that is what I hope that my legacy will be, more than what I was able to do professionally.
Right, because, you know, whether you win or lose a game, it doesn't sustain, but your humanity, your golf tournament, giving back to the community like you have been with so many different charities over the years, and you touch so many different lives. We could talk 24 hours on each topic, but Sweet Pea Whitaker, you know, Bruce Smith have got to have been two of the people that you've enjoyed covering over the years.
Oh, I'll tell you, you know, with Sweet Pea, we went through the great time, the last big time of boxing in America. You know, when he was, you know, considered the best boxer pound for pound in the world, and I was able to cover just about every single fight that he ever had. I was there at Madison Square Garden when he had his first professional fight after winning the Olympic gold medal. I was there for virtually every fight after that. I was the ring announcer for several of his fights that were broadcast on ABC Wide World of Sports. I was able to go to San Antonio for his Ramirez fight. I was in Las Vegas for his Oscar De La Hoya fight. They were that was a great opportunity. You mentioned Bruce Smith, who is still my dear friend. Mm-hmm. Of course, I have to look back to when Bruce was a senior at Booker T. Washington High School playing both football and basketball. And, of course, linemen in high school don't get nearly the local sports coverage as quarterbacks and running backs and wide receivers and defensive backs that make interceptions. But Bruce was a phenomenal basketball player on a very good Booker T team. And I remember when he announced that he was going to go to Virginia Tech and play football, I think I mentioned on the air, I hope this kid isn't making a mistake because I think he'd be a much better basketball player. And, of course, he went on to become perhaps the greatest defensive player in the history of the NFL, which is probably why I never got into the scouting business or the coaching business.
Right.
But, and so many others. Kenny Easley, who was, in my opinion, at the time, the greatest high school football player that I had ever seen when he played at Oscar Smith High School. When he was the quarterback, he was the safety, he kicked off, he punted, he ran back kickoffs, he ran back punts. He played every single play of every single game, and he was deciding between Michigan and UCLA. He went to UCLA. That's when freshmen were not allowed to play on varsity. So he was a 3-time All-American at UCLA. It was the first time that a football player at UCLA had ever been a 3-time All-American. He was top draft choice in the NFL draft by the Seattle Seahawks. He had a phenomenal NFL career. Lawrence Taylor, Tyrod Taylor, Michael Vick, of course, the great Ronald Curry at Hampton High School, just Alonzo Mourning. I mean, the list just goes on and on. I'd really have to have a list. Ricky Rudd, covering Ricky Rudd for years and years in NASCAR at the Daytona 500. I think I went to maybe, 25 or 30 straight Daytona 500s and was able to bring that back to our NASCAR fans here. I mean, there's just not enough time, Greg, to mention all of the Super Bowls and the Olympics and watching, LaShawn Merritt and all the local people that went to the Olympics that I was able to cover in Atlanta and Australia and Greece and everywhere.
Sure,
great opportunity.
And you covered Lawrence Taylor and you covered J.R. Reed as well, and so many since the 70s. Let me ask you this as we get close to the bottom of the hour here. UVA is struggling. Virginia Tech is struggling. To me, I know you have a show with Bobby Walder, but they're struggling right now as well. Which one of those three do you think will get a winning record toward the end?
Well, I don't know. It's hard. I would say if I had to pick one of those three, I'd go with Tech.
Right.
Virginia, I think, as much as I really like Mike London and have always supported him, I think it's time for Virginia to make to make a change. Tech, that was a tough loss for them. I'm sure that Frank Beamer isn't going to be there forever. So that'll be a new beginning, I would think, for Tech. A lot of people think that Bud Foster might get that job or Shane Beamer might get that job, but I truly believe that when Coach Beamer, perhaps at the end of next season, decides that he's not going to coach anymore, that they'll probably just have an entirely new coaching staff come in. But again, I don't know. I know that Virginia will have a new coaching staff come in. Bobby's Old Dominion team's struggling. That 49-0 loss to Appalachian State was tough. Their defense did not play well at all. They lost the gaps up front with their front seven. They blew several coverages. They had some long touchdown passes. They didn't tackle well on offense. Those 4 turnovers is what did them in. Schuler was 16, I think, for 28, about 133 yards, but he had 2 bad interceptions, and he forced them.
Right.
And he hadn't been doing that before. He's got to play better, and that offensive line has got to play better. And Connor Mewborn hurt his ankle again, and Troy Butler got hurt. They're just, they're really struggling on that offensive line, and they play Marshall this week. Oh. And Marshall is a very good team. They're 3-1 this year. They've won, I think, 16 of their last 18 games. They're fast. and they're chomping at the bit to get it at an Old Dominion team that you got to still keep in mind. They are struggling because they are young. This football right now is, I don't care if you're talking about NFL, college, or high school. It's all about who's got the good quarterback.
Right.
And as far as Old Dominion is concerned, they've got Schuler Bentley. Sure, he's a redshirt freshman. That means that last year he stood on the sidelines and watched Taylor Heineke. This kid's a freshman. He's going up against seniors with a shaky offensive line. Schuler Bentley may be a fabulous quarterback next year or the next year or the next year after that, but he's still just a freshman. Virginia Tech lost Michael Brewer, who was their star quarterback the first week of the game against Ohio State. So they're struggling because they don't have a quarterback. Matt Johns, at Virginia, they lost. Virginia lost a quarterback. He's playing great at Georgia right now. They're struggling because they don't have a quarterback. The Redskins are struggling because they don't have a really good quarterback. I mean, if Robert Griffin III had shown progress for the past 18 months, he'd still be there. But Kirk Cousins, we may find out against Philadelphia whether or not he is a true NFL quarterback with a future or if he's nothing more than a backup. But then you look at the Eagles, who the Redskins are playing, and Sam Bradford isn't playing well.
Right.
And that's one of the big reasons that the Eagles, had a tough start up until Sunday. So football is very quarterback-driven right now, and all these teams that you mentioned, and then the Redskins, which I just mentioned, they all have problems at quarterback right now. Maybe not because the quarterbacks are necessarily that bad. Maybe they just need more experience, but all in all, that's a big problem.
Yeah, the Ravens have a good quarterback, but they're still 0-3. Let me say this. You brought up a good point, and we have to let you go after this, that when Old Dominion loses a home game, Bruce, you understand this better than anybody. This is not 1990 anymore. It's corporate sponsors, it's suites, it's advertising, it's TV, it's radio, it's billboards. That loss didn't help any of that.
Well, it didn't, Greg, but let me tell you something.
Sure.
A big part of college football is the pageantry and the socialization that goes along with the game. You've been there. You've seen what a fabulous atmosphere they have tailgating prior to the Old Dominion games. We did not have, of course, William and Mary's always put on a good product, but that's up in Williamsburg.
Sure.
Norfolk State and Hampton have had their up and downs. We've never had an FBS school in Hampton Roads where people could come and enjoy the college football game day experience without having to drive to Charlottesville or Raleigh or Blacksburg, and they aren't short drives. And so I would hope that the fans understand and embrace what Wood Selig and Bobby Wilder and John Broderick, the president of Old Dominion, have given this area, this wonderful opportunity where my sons, who are 10 years old, were able to get in the car 2 weeks ago and drive 30 minutes and watch an ACC school play at SB Ballard Stadium.
That's great.
That's something that you were not able to do when you were 10 years old, and a lot of my friends who are adults now with children were not able to do when they were 10 years old.
Right, we had to go to Charlottesville.
So let's have a little let's have a little patience with these guys. They're trying to do the right thing by really building a new stadium and making sure that it's in the right place. They're doing their due diligence. The same way I feel about putting an arena down at the Virginia Beach oceanfront. I would love for my kids to be able, maybe someday, to be able to get in their car and drive 15 minutes and perhaps see an NHL game or possibly an NBA game or an ACC basketball tournament and not have to drive for hours and hours. And, let's hope that these things happen so that we can look ahead to the future, not just worry about ourselves today.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, too. But I think the biggest thing, you know this, Bruce, you live there, is the oceanfront will always be king from around late April till Labor Day.
Well, great. That's why you want an arena there, because then when the ACC basketball tournament comes, and ACC officials have said that they have never been able to have an ACC basketball tournament in the state of Virginia because you can't have it at UVA. And so they've already said if you build an arena in Virginia Beach, we will give you an ACC basketball tournament. I know that the Atlantic 10 has already said that they would love to have their basketball tournament here. So what the arena is going to do for you is that in the wintertime, when people are not coming for the beach, then you can bring in the ACC basketball tournament. You could bring in the NCAA, indoor track championships, NCAA swimming championships. During the off-season, you've got plenty of hotels that are nearby, plenty of restaurants that are nearby, and to be honest with you, the city of Virginia Beach is the only city in Hampton Roads that has embraced the possibility of doing this.
Yeah.
Norfolk doesn't, apparently have the desire or the money to do it. Chesapeake doesn't have the desire or the money to do it. Suffolk doesn't have the money or desire to do it. I applaud the Virginia Beach Council for stepping up and saying, we'll be the leaders here, and we'll put the arena, here when no other city has offered to do it. So,
right.
These are the things that I think we should be supportive about.
Totally. Bruce, all the best to you, my friend, and your family. You're a wonderful person. You've sustained, and you're a true icon in Hampton Roads. Thanks for all that you do, not just in sports, but everything that you do for Hampton Roads.
Thank you, Greg. Always nice talking to you, and say hi to Ken for me.
I will. He's right here. All right, thank you so much, Bruce.
And thank you for all your support for St. Jude's, Bruce. You've been a champ for that from day one, and bless you for that.
Well, thanks. You'll be hearing about my golf tournament coming up the first Thursday in June 2016.
All right, say hello to Brian, Bruce.
I will.
All right, buddy. All right, Bruce Rader right there. And Ken, you got to admit, I've been in radio and TV since the 80s. He's been in since the 70s. You've been around since the 70s. He really has sustained.
Oh, yeah, and has always been consistent, constant quality. You know what you're going to get with Bruce Rader. You know you're going to get the best. He's going to get the real story and present it in a way that you're going to get the full understanding of it. He's a professional. I guess that's why he's been doing it for so long. If you're doing it right, they ain't gonna mess with you.
We'll take a break. We'll come back after these messages.
Mark your calendar for October 22nd through 24th as Saints Constantine and Helen Greek Orthodox Church in Newport News presents the Newport News Greek Festival Fall Edition, an indoor event inside the Hellenic Center. Enjoy Greek food, desserts, beverages, arts and crafts, and much more. Located at 60 Traverse Road off exit 258B on Route 17 in Newport News. For more, log on to newportnewsgreekfestival.org. See you at the Newport News Greek Festival Fall Edition, October 22nd through 24th.
Opa!
Nor'easter season is here, so don't get all wet.
Protect your house. Call Crawl Space Door Systems at 363-0005. Reduce your flood insurance, reduce the threat of mold and insects, and save energy. Crawl Space Doors, air vents, flood vents, vent covers, and fans can help you stay dry or get you dry quickly. Contact Crawl Space Doors for more information at 363-0005 or online at crawlspacedores.com. Stay dry, my friends.
When it comes to automobile service in Hampton Roads, Fink's Car Care is the destination locals have counted on for decades. Family owned and operated, they specialize in transmission service, oil changes, state inspection, radiator service, tires alignments, and showcase Win automotive products. Fink's does it all. Military and senior discounts are available. Find them on Facebook and visit them on South Military Highway in Chesapeake and Victory Boulevard in Portsmouth, Monday through Saturday. For more, log on to finkscarcare.com and call 545-3573 today. Now back to Greg Bicouvaris and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio. It's now time for Greg's Highlights, presented by Hampton Roads Online Mall.com.
Hey, I want to thank Bruce Rader right there for the interview from Fox 43 WAVY-TV 10. This is Sports Scene. Don't forget GJBTV.com. Archive shows. Click the YouTube link on the homepage, and we also tweet it out on Greg Bick Sports Highlight, GJBTV, and HROnlineMall.com. Shop on the Marketplace sponsors. Go to HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com. Over 80 businesses. You click the image, goes right to their website. Save the date each Wednesday for Sports Scene from 12 to 1 right here on 1650 AM, tunein.com. Type in WHKT. Always a pleasure to be with you on the radio each week. Business spotlight scenes coming up. What tees me off? Sports highlights on nnpstv.com. And always great guests. Don't forget it's lunchtime. papajohns.com. Official pizza sponsor of the NFL. Maybe they can help the Redskins too, Ken, huh? Create your own pizza at Papa John's on Twitter. Better ingredients, better pizza. And, of course, a locals tradition is CP Shuckers with locations on Shore Drive and Pacific Avenue. People love their prime rib, seafood, pasta, burgers, wings, and much more. Go by and see Matt and Mark. Wednesday night, Chef Leon has bar bites right there at Shore Drive only. Monday night, of course, is wing and shrimp night during Monday Night Football. And Tuesday is crab leg night. Wear your college team attire on Saturdays. Good place to be, probably in the rain, and get half off all pitchers on Saturday as well. CP Shuckers is your home for football, and football, showcasing the SEC, Big Ten, Pac-12 networks, and all the college and NFL games, including Thursday night, of course, with the Ravens and the Steelers. Like both locations on Facebook and log on to cpshuckers.com. Eat or be eaten at CP Shuckers as well. All right. What goes hand in hand with football is bacon, and of course we got a big event coming up this weekend, and we want to welcome Judy Winslow from Smithfield. How are you, Judy?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Well, tell us, we've had you on before. Always look forward to talking to you and Gina each month. And, of course, let's talk about what's going on this Saturday. And, of course, I guess you have to talk about the weather as well at this point.
Yes, unfortunately. This is a rain or shine event. The rain alone will not cancel the event. Only if the weather conditions jeopardize the safety of our patrons would we cancel that. And we will know whether we are going to cancel or it is on by Friday at noon. And the best way to do that is to check our Facebook page or our website. And we will put out, we're going to be putting out weather bulletins, but that is our drop-dead deadline as to when we're going to tell the public whether we're on or not.
So,
but at this point, we're planning on being on.
Yeah, because a little rain to me doesn't hurt anything.
You know, bacon and bourbon taste just as good in the rain.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the event. How long have you had it? And, of course, you have it every year.
Well, we've got a bunch of events every year. This is actually only the second year of our Bacon, Bourbon, and Beach Music Festival, but it was so successful last year. And I'm sure it will be equally as successful if we're able to chase this rain away.
All right, let's talk about where it's going to be at exactly and what are the hours for Saturday.
Yeah, it is going to be held at Windsor Castle Park, and that's located right in downtown historic Smithfield. And the times for the event are 11 in the morning until 5 in the afternoon.
Very good. Of course, you have a nice website. Of course, you can see it on HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com, but you're also active on Twitter and, of course, Facebook.
Exactly.
Right. So where can they get all the information exactly, you said, from the website and Facebook? Now, it's hard to say because the weather changes by the hour around here. I mean, how difficult, how daunting has it been for you and Gina and the staff this week to prepare?
Well, you know, it has been a little nail-bitey, but we are, like I said, we are preparing as if we are going to have it. So at this point, it's full steam ahead. The tents are put up. And let me just also let you know that it is rain or shine. If we have the event, and it looks like we're hoping we're going to, there will be additional large tents put up on the site so that folks can, huddle under the tents and not have to get completely soaked.
Is there a rain date?
There is no rain date. We are either on or we are off.
Wow, but you do have two other events coming up. I believe those are indoors.
Well, our January
Somewhat.
event is indoors. Yeah, that's called our Bob Festival, and that's held on Martin Luther King weekend in January. That is under the biggest, humongous, largest tent you have ever seen.
Wow.
And it's heated. And that's Bloody Marys and oysters and Brunswick stew and barbecue. That is a blast. And then, of course, in April, we have our Smithfield Wine and Brew Fest, and that's always the second Saturday in April.
All right, well, give us an information hotline number just in case somebody wants to call.
Actually, if you'll call the Visitor Center for information at this point, that's our best line of defense. And that number is 757-357-5182.
And I'll let you go, but Gina told me a great story. After we did the last interview with her, she got a great bourbon vendor who was listening to our interview. So
yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah, and that's what's good about doing this show today is it's right before your event Saturday, so we give an update to the public live on the radio. Such a nice event. We'll give our best to Gina, and we hope to see you rain or shine on Saturday. Again, give us that full name of the event.
It is the Smithfield Bacon, Bourbon, and Beach Music Festival.
Very good. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks, you too. Bye-bye.
Very good. Ken, always a lot of activities, of course. Let's don't forget the Newport News Greek Festival is coming up October 22nd to 24th. For more, go to newportnewsgreekfestival.org. But whether it's in Smithfield or on the south side or the peninsula, or even the mountains in Charlottesville, there's always something to do in the fall.
Now, there's plenty to do in the Commonwealth of Virginia. If you say, I got nothing to do, I'm bored, there's something wrong with you.
Right. Of course. All right, we'll take a short break, and we'll come back after these messages on Sports Scene.
Mi Hogar is your restaurant for the finest Mexican cuisine in Hampton Roads. At Mi Hogar, everything is prepared fresh in a casual atmosphere. Enjoy traditional favorites such as quesadillas, tacos, burritos, and fajitas, as well as refreshing beverages. Mi Hogar has 2 locations, 4201 Granby Street in Norfolk and 801 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake. Call ahead at 640-7705. At Mi Hogar, there is something for everyone.
When it comes to automobile service in Hampton Roads, Fink's Car Care is the destination locals have counted on for decades. Family owned and operated, they specialize in transmission service, oil changes, state inspection, radiator service, tires alignments, and showcase Win automotive products. Fink's does it all. Military and senior discounts are available. Find them on Facebook and visit them on South Military Highway in Chesapeake and Victory Boulevard in Portsmouth, Monday through Saturday. For more, log on to finkscarcare.com and call 545-3573 today.
Nor'easter season is here, so don't get all wet.
Protect your house. Call Crawl Space Door Systems at 363-0005. Reduce your flood insurance, reduce the threat of mold and insects, and save energy. Crawl Space Doors, air vents, flood vents, vent covers, and fans can help you stay dry or get you dry quickly. Contact Crawl Space Doors for more information at 363-0005 or online at crawlspacedores.com. Stay dry, my friends.
Now back to Greg Bicouvaris and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio.
All right, back live right here on the radio. This is definitely fall, Ken. Overcast, kind of gloomy. It's a month before Halloween. I swear the other day, Ken, I saw somebody that, kind of resembled Dracula, and I was really freaked out.
What were these salespeople doing out that time of day anyway?
Exactly. Oh, my goodness. A month before Halloween. Oh, tomorrow. Oh, my goodness. Halloween will be right here before you know it. All right. Up until then, you can go fishing all the time you want to at Lynn Haven Fishing Pier. One of our favorites, Jennifer Duff from Lynn Haven Fishing Pier, right off Shore Drive in beautiful Virginia Beach. Probably, Ken, the best view in all of Hampton Roads.
Oh, I've enjoyed that view many a time. It's great. You can look back and see the shoreline. You can look north, see the ocean front glowing. You look south, and just everywhere you look, there's something to look at.
All right, Jennifer, how are you?
I'm good, Greg. How are you?
You sound great. Very good, very good. All right, let's talk about Lynn Haven Fishing Pier. It is September 30th. About how much longer will you be open?
We are usually open until the end of October, and we stay open a full 24 hours until then.
And it's 24/7. People don't realize you can fish 24/7.
Yes.
One thing, too, about fishing, and the weather plays such a big part. When it's windy, I notice it really affects the fishing out there.
It does. Our best fishing is usually on a northeast wind, and this very recent weather, we have had the best run of spot and we've seen in probably 30 or 40 years.
Yeah, I've seen some.
It's been an epic run.
Yeah, I've seen some buckets totally full of spot. Of course, you got spot, croaker, flounder. What else are people catching at Lynn Haven Fishing Pier?
Right now, it's been mainly spot, and they're really big. They're not yellow-bellied yet because the water temperature hasn't gotten cold enough, but the spot have been huge. We're also getting some puppy drum. Haven't had a ton of keepers. Some have been small, but we've had a lot of really big ones. They've been over 50 inches. So find a catch, even though you can't keep them. We've also had a lot of keeper speckled trout and some small gray trout.
Right, of course. Give us your phone number. You're very active on Facebook as well.
Extremely active on Facebook. That's Lynn Haven Fishing Pier. And our phone number is 481-7071.
Right, talking to Jennifer Duff from Lynnhaven Fishing Pier, and of course, very accessible right offshore drive. Really, it's accessible for people really from the Eastern Shore to Hampton Roads, the peninsula. I mean, you really are just in a great location.
Yes, we are, and we've actually had a lot of people coming from all over to fish this spot run. People from all over Carolina, all over Virginia. We've had some people from the Eastern Shore. In fact, I got a phone call from a guy last night from New York that's on his way down for the weekend.
How about crabbing?
Crabbing is pretty much gone for the season. We've had a few people trying. Some people are getting a few. Some people aren't getting anything. It's that time of year where the crabbing season is just kind of winding down.
All right, give us your phone number and address.
We are located at 2350 Starfish Road. We are right off of Shore Drive in Virginia Beach, about a quarter mile east of the Lesnar Bridge. And our phone number again is 757-481-7071. And we are open 24 hours a day through the end of October.
All right, very good, Jennifer. All the best. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much, Greg.
My pleasure. All right, Ken, let's take a 1-minute break. We'll come back with What Teased Me Off and much more on Sports Scene.
People in Chesapeake and Hampton Roads have come to expect the finest Italian food at Spaghetti Eddie's. In addition to great lunch and dinner served daily, this fine establishment caters to and can host your party. Call 484-7301 for their Taylor Road location and call 410-5500 for their restaurant in Greenbrier. For more, log on to SpaghettiEddiesPizzaCafe.com. Mark your calendar for October 22nd through 24th as Saints Constantine and Helen Greek Orthodox Church in Newport News presents the Newport News Greek Festival Fall Edition, an indoor event inside the Hellenic Center. Enjoy Greek food, desserts, beverages, arts and crafts, and much more. Located at 60 Traverse Road off exit 258B on Route 17 in Newport News. For more, log on to NewportNewsGreekFestival.org. See you at the Newport News Greek Festival Fall Edition, October 22nd through 24th. Opa!
Now back to Greg Bicouvaris and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio.
And Saffron Mediterranean Cuisine is about to sponsor What Teased Me Off. They got cold appetizers, hot appetizers, entrees, fish, kids menu, desserts. They've got assorted wraps and stews. Really good lamb kebab. I had that recently. Fresh ingredients. The best rice around is all at Saffron Mediterranean Cuisine. Like them on Facebook. They are the home of shish kebab's authentic Mediterranean cuisine at its best. 223-9978. Right there at Hilton Village at 10417 Warwick Boulevard. Go by and see Saffron Mediterranean Cuisine daily. Ken, let's get to What Teased Me Off.
What Teased You Off? Presented by GJBTV.com.
All right, Kenny, stairs. I don't mind walking down them. I can't stand walking upstairs anymore.
Yeah, it'd be nice if they all went just down.
Yeah.
Somebody get on that right away. Invent just only downstairs, no upstairs.
I broadcast football games from Todd Stadium. There's no elevator and there's no bathroom in the press box. Shame on you. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry.
It was built before ADA, so they're grandfathered.
Ken, humidity in the fall, for God's sake. One day you have the air conditioner on, next day you cut it off, next day you got the heat on.
It's Tide Water.
Yeah.
The Tide Water in Orlando.
I had to call the local fire department last week because my neighbor had their recycling trash can in the middle of the road with down wire from the storm and cable wires and Dominion Virginia power wires. They didn't know what to do. Well, if you would have touched it, you would have been electrocuted.
They didn't know what to do.
They had the recycling bin in the middle of the road. Hello, school buses go by there, Kenny.
Oh, man. Tell them to aid in the genetic disposition of the species and go pick up that wire. Go ahead.
Yeah,
take your genes out of the pool.
Exactly, totally. And of course, kids walk by. There is a residential neighborhood, folks. Call the fire department if you have down power lines. Ken, people who will email you about needing something, whether it's a work, service, favor, etc., only to realize it's a juggling act on who they randomly pick, like a lottery for you. But I have a feeling they know, what's going on as far as an email before they even send it to you. It's only when they need something do they want a response back.
Yeah, I don't get too much of that. I get enough email where I usually don't pay attention to anything like that.
Teammates fighting on the same team. Really, the Washington Nationals, that is a shame what happened.
Yeah. Free agency, maybe not such a good thing.
Yeah. I can understand verbal fighting, but not physical. I mean, sports is a very high testosterone type thing. People who think the police officers are bad, look at yourself in the mirror. They're here to protect, Kenny.
Oh, man. Anyone who thinks that the officers are in the wrong doing a bad thing, spend a week with them in their shoes, see what they do, see the people they have to deal with on a regular basis. You might have another opinion.
Backup quarterbacks are subs in sports who beg to play, but when it's time for them to be ready, they seem lost. Michael Vick, I hope you're ready tomorrow. All right, Kenny. Minutia phone calls for people like us in the broadcasting business who talk all day.
Oh, you just love that.
People who don't get the hint when it's time to go. You love that one, Kenny.
Oh, yeah. Over and over again. Nobody's listening. What are you doing?
And also liars, people that just lie in general, call you after certain times. And the last thing, Kenny, is mullets. They have to be the worst thing still known to mankind, that men wear mullets. I've got no hair, but still, that is disgusting.
I occasionally will see some poor child, the child of a pair of parents from a trailer park with a mullet, and I think, come on. Do you not pick up any book or watch any television to see what century you're in?
And it's like the parent trying to dress up the kid like they want to be. Let the kid be themselves. Oh, my goodness.
Business in front, party in the back.
Ken, great show today. Bruce Rader was really on it today.
He's awesome. He is such a cool dude.
Yep. Judy, Winslow, Jennifer Duff, thank you also to our great sponsors as well, each and every week for making a sports scene possible as well. Of course, Papa John's and all of our great sponsors, CP Shuckers and MiCasitaMexican.com with 2 locations, Saffron, Downtown Grill, and Papa John's, as well as Spaghetti Eddie's, Finks, Newport News Greek Festival, and Hogar. I'm Greg Bicouvaris. We'll talk to you soon.
AM 1650 WHKT Portsmouth. It's 1 o'clock.